Well, I suggest baking a Dundee cake in a central position in a preheated oven. And even with a fan oven, I know they say fan ovens have even distribution of heat, but the central position of the oven, whether it's conventional or fan, at 150 Fahrenheit, 150 centigrade, 300 Fahrenheit, between gas mark 3 and 4. If it's browning a bit on top, if the almonds, the almonds are a traditional sign of a Dundee cake, if they're getting too brown, just cover them with a sheet of greaseproof paper. And an average 8-inch Dundee cake should be baked in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Well, a chocolate biscuit cake has become very, very popular nowadays for celebration cakes and for wedding cakes. And I have an excellent recipe on the Odlums website, www.odlums.ie. And the only tip I have really for a chocolate biscuit cake is to make sure it's pressed down well in the tin before it sets. If you don't press it down very well, you'll get air bubbles or air holes through the mixture, causing it to crumble or crack when it breaks. I also suggest you throw in a packet or 2 or 3 indeed, depending on the size of the cake, of Maltesers or chopped crunchy. They give a nice bite to the chocolate biscuit cake. It's not for cutting, it's only for cutting, you say, not for displaying. But just a tip for people who are using a chocolate biscuit cake and want to decorate it, you must put a layer of almond paste or marzipan, thin layer, on the chocolate biscuit cake before applying the white icing, whether it's ready to roll or the royal icing. You get a flat top on the cake for decorating, otherwise the appearance will be all wrong. We had lots of controversy and chat indeed after the Gur cake. I used water today, but a lot of the mummies and the grannies apparently use tea. So by all means, yes, you can use tea if you wish. So tea can be used instead. Probably improve the flavour a bit as well, actually. It's a rather unusual colander, but the one thing I find is great about it is it can be flattened out in the press. So it just folds over like so. And I got that actually from Kitchen Appliances Limited. They're a kitchen company in Dublin called KAL, Kitchen Appliances Limited. And it can also be had from Kinnan Kitchens in Tipperary. They have stocked them as well. Swiss roll. We might make a Swiss roll over the next few weeks on Ireland AM, but the secret is a nice light egg sponge, and you bake it in a Swiss roll tin. When it's baked, you turn it on immediately out of the tin onto some greaseproof paper, which has been dusted with caster sugar, not icing sugar. Icing sugar gets wet and sticky. Caster sugar. Trim the edges because the edge of the sponge will be crusty, which would cause the roll to crack as you roll it. So when you trim the very edge of the sponge cake, then quickly roll it into a roll while it's hot. When it's cooled completely, gently unroll and fill with your strawberries or whipped cream. But we'll make a fresh strawberries are in season now, so we might make one over the next few weeks in Ireland AM. Certainly can make the Gur cake, provided all the ingredients are gluten-free. For example, you would use a gluten-free bread, the stayed gluten-free bread for the soaking of it, and use the gluten-free flour. And make sure your mixed spice is also gluten-free. In other words, check your manufacturer's list to make sure that all the ingredients you're using are gluten-free. But certainly the Gur cake works very well with the Tritamil gluten-free flour. The trick or the secret in a nice light well-risen scone or scone is you bake them on a preheated tin. So dust the tin with some flour, pop the tin into the preheated oven while you're making your scone mixture so that the tin is good and hot and the flour is golden brown. When you cut out your scones then, and the basic recipe I would use would be 225 grams, 8 ounces of our Odlum self-raising flour, about 2 ounces of margarine, a teaspoonful of caster sugar, and a 1/4 pint of milk. That's 150 mils, a 1/4 pint of milk. Make the scones up quickly, cut them onto the preheated tin, into the oven. The oven must be at temperature, which is 400 Fahrenheit, 200 centigrade, gas mark 6. Again, an upper shelf position so the scones will lift as soon as they hit the heat of the oven, giving you a nice light, well-risen scone. Then to serve them, you can serve them with fresh cream and strawberries, fresh cream, strawberry jam, lots of fresh fruit in season at the moment. So any array of fruit can be served with them, and cream, or just butter and jam as well.